lots of the stuff you will never use, or it's stuff you won't even notice. But a lot of it is very useful. So let's just go over the infantry command tree for the Americans. You can select, usually from the beginning, with your increased production of infantry, and I think there's some other upgrades like incendiary grenades. There's a lot of emplacements for them. The Americans are now, if you pick the infantry command, you are driven by emplacements for the most part. You have the infantry emplacement, which you can put 20 men into, and it fits 6 slots, if I recall correctly. It's very useful. You can reinforce troops from it. Then there's the mortar pit, which is pretty much just an American version of what the British mortar pit is. There is a 57mm anti-tank gun emplacement, which is a lot like an 88. You just set it up and then that's where it is. And there's also a 105, which is a lot like the other 105 in the vanilla version. They still have the original stuff, the increased troop production, the decreased time, I mean, in the defenses. That about covers the infantry doctrine. The airborne, I really think that Blitzkrieg made a point to make the airborne actually be used in the role that the airborne was meant to be used in. That sounds confusing, I just realized that. What I mean is, there are some new maps on this game. One of them is called the Rhine. It is a huge map. I mean, it is gigantic. It makes Route N13, if you've played regular Company of Heroes, look like a frickin' 2-mile thing. And this thing is gigantic. Which means that your troops take a long time to get from one place to another. And because of that, it makes it hard to make fast response if an area is under attack. Now, this is where the airborne comes in. I've found that there's a little pocket there that if you call in airborne troops on there, and you have like 2 minutes, you can set up a nice little defense, hole up there, and then you can expand from there. Now, moving on to what the airborne actually has to offer. As you would expect, they don't have a lot to offer in armor. You can select 2 armor upgrades where you can create the Sherman or the M10. Those should be like the last cards that you will spend your command points on. The first thing you should spend them on is just a standard airborne squad. It's a 101st Airborne Ranger Squad. They're armed with Thompsons, and they get a supply drop when you call them in that gives them recoilless rifles, I think. Moving on to the fact that they've greatly expanded, now you have a selection of 3 different paratrooper squads. It is a Airborne Ranger Squad, 101st Airborne Ranger Squad, an 82nd Airborne Ranger Squad, and an Airborne Headquarters. Actually, no, there is 4, because then there's your Airborne Spotter,